We are live. Zach Rice, Rice Family Brewing.
Yep, I'm Zach Rice of Rice Family Brewing.
Yeah, dude, welcome. Glad to have you in here. I just saw your page on Instagram and I was like, sick, local brew. What's up?
Yeah, we're a little quieter compared to some of the other guys around here, but we're also much smaller, so I think that makes a ton of sense. So we are a one-barrel brew house with the capability of brewing up to 2 barrels in a day, and we just do production and packaging and then locally distribute ourselves.
Yeah. So, like, how did this get started? Like, what started this?
Well, I homebrewed for 4 or 5 years before I kind of came to the idea of
Gotcha.
doing this. So that kind of, I literally had a dream one night that I was making beer. And, and I woke up the next morning and turned on Food Network, and Alton Brown's show was on, and it was about homebrewing.
Oh, I do remember Alton Brown. He was the man.
Yeah. So he did a whole show on homebrewing beer, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I drank a good bit of beer, and it is quite expensive. So I ordered my first starter kit, and fast forward, I went from making 5 gallons of beer, and now we do 35 at a time.
So that's what a barrel is 35 gallons?
A barrel's 31 and a half. We brew 35 because you're going to have various loss points. So we want to get a full barrel in the can.
I don't know. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
So, there's all these hoses, and then there's space in the fermenters that you're just not going to get that beer out.
Oh, I see.
So we lose probably anywhere between half a gallon to a gallon in the fermenter, and probably a quarter of a gallon between what's left in the hoses after we're done.
Yeah.
So we brew a little more just to make sure we get a full amount.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So then, so you started home brewing, and then organically you enjoyed it, and then it just kind of ramped up. Like, how are you learning the technical components of how to brew? I mean, just like YouTube videos online, or
honestly, a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
And there used to be a homebrew shop around here called Athens Do It Yourself Shop. So that was ran by Eric Hedden. I can't remember how to say his last name, but so I became really good buds with him, and just picked his brain and hung out at the shop with him, brewed beer with him. And that's all during the homebrew phase of things.
Yeah, how long was that before you started buying more expensive equipment and bigger stuff?
It was probably. So I think 2021 was when we started okay, let's buy the gear, let's clear out the room in the garage, let's start making an actual building within there to brew with. So probably about 4 or 5 years.
Gotcha.
I was just sitting at my day job, and I was like, man, I don't think I could do this forever.
Yeah.
And I texted my dad, and I was like, do you think it's crazy to want to go into business for myself and make beer? And he's like, if you enjoy doing it, that's a good start. So,
yeah.
Then I started looking at gear, and I had no idea how to operate any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So my dad works for a local school system around here as their tech guy.
Oh.
But he was in the Navy, years ago, and he was a nuke guy. So he's very smart.
Yeah,
Physics,
okay.
chemistry, heating,
Big
cooling.
big brain guy. Yeah.
So he is. I always tell people he's like my production manager.
Nice.
He keeps me on point with the machines, helps me repair stuff, and I kind of brought more of the creative side of things, the recipe building and all of that, the general process of brewing and fermenting, and then we just started tinkering around with everything, and we probably spent 6 or 7 months just running test batches, trying to figure out
the big new equipment.
Mm-hmm.
How expensive is that when you say you're running batches?
So
what are the components? Water,
So beer is water, yeast, barley, and hops.
Okay. Has some ratio, right? You can play with those ratios.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like Eric told me, and which made no sense to me at the time, I was like, well, I want to learn how to build recipes, because he'd always make my recipes for me when I was home brewing.
I see.
And I was like, well, I want to figure out how you do this. How do you know it's this, this, and this, and that's your grain bill? And he's like, it's all in the ratios, man. And that's all he said. Now I know what that means.
Yeah.
So the largest percentage of your grain bill is going to be your base malt, and that's where you get most of your fermentability. Everything else kind of adds flavor, color, texture. So once you figure out what that looks like on a 5-gallon scale, you can use tools to build that up.
Yeah. And so like, is it the same ratio of those things, like the malt and the water, and then you're just playing with the other ones? Like, is there some sort of base formula of like your beers? Like every single beer, like the ratios are all different. Like, there's no consistency across any of them.
I would say our different styles have different ratios.
Yeah.
But I would still say the largest component of most of them is going to be your base malt. We used a lot of 2-row, which is a very common base malt. It doesn't really contribute any kind of flavor to the beer.
I see.
It's just for the, where you
alcohol production.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where you get most of your sugar from.
So then where are you sourcing these, like, well, like, also, too, like, even for starting at your home brew, like, where are you just buying this shit online, or are you getting it somewhere in town?
Yeah, well, kind of both, really. Yeah. So when the DIY shop was open, I was getting almost all of it there. If I saw something online that I wanted that I didn't think Eric had, I would order it. And then he sold it, kind of went downhill and then shut down. So then I just started buying online, which, there's a certain convenience to it. You can do it real quick and snappy. You don't have to like spend a day talking to someone,
driving somewhere.
Somewhere. But then, when you're brewing, and something I miss now is that when you're brewing and you're like, crap, I'm like, I just need a little bit more of this. I can't drive up the road to get that anywhere.
Fuck. Yeah.
So
bottlenecks. Look, just one thing. You just ran out of the one thing. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is we just had Brew Week the other week or last week. So it's like, this is a very brew centric town, and I would love to see another brew shop around here. I think it would do well with the right business model. But and I'm kind of toying with the idea that when we open up a tap room, that we also could open up a commercial side for home brewing supplies as well.
That would be sick, man.
Because I've seen breweries around the country do that, and it's kind of like to me, it's a win-win because you're buying all that stuff anyways, most of it.
I see. Yeah.
You're going to have all the grain, the hops. You're going to have all that stuff anyways, the yeast.
So. But then the counter argument is that you're selling things for people to make the things that they're no longer going to buy from you. But I guess at least you're selling them like the ingredients.
Yeah, I mean,
time and place. Like you have the home brew, like when you're whatever with a dinner. Hey, we brewed this beer versus like going out to Doug's or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I mean, even when I was home brewing, I was still buying a ton of beer. Like I kind of used it as like, oh, I'm going to save money. But then I was like, well, I also, all I have is a brown ale and an IPA. I want some lager. I want a stout, or so I would still buy all that stuff. So I wasn't really saving any money. I was just
having fun,
drinking more beer and making a lot of beer. So
cool. So how long now have you since like buying the equipment and like kind of like how long has that been now?
So that's been 4 years since we started. We've been this is our 3rd year selling beer.
Cool. And where are you selling beer at?
So we sell at Doug's out off of 143 in Albany. We sell at the Pizza Stop Carryout in Albany.
Nice.
We sell out at Lake Hope Lodge, which is like MacArthur area, Zaleski area.
Mm-hmm.
Dutch Creek Winery has been awesome for us. I live like right up the road from Dutch Creek Winery, and I had never been there before. And my partner was like, "You've never been there? Let's go." So I go and I meet the owner, Paul, and his wife, Cindy. And, we just kind of shoot the idea across like, yeah, we're in production. We're getting ready to start selling. Like, if you guys would be interested in trying some of this stuff out. And, 3 or 4 years later, whatever it is, so many people find us from out there.
So I just had Avery Snyder. She works for AceNet, and she mentioned like that your stuff is at Dutch Creek Winery. Okay. I was like, oh yeah, like I have a guy coming in after you. I don't know.
I know Cindy works at AceNet, Paul's wife. So
nice.
But yeah, no, I mean, and then we also have beer up at Sidebar.
Cool.
So I know I graduated with the owner's brother, and then I just knew her because she was only a few years ahead of us. So
nice. Oh, so you're from the area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up in Albany.
Nice. Shout out. I live out towards Albany now.
Okay, cool. Rad.
Cool. So you just explained kind of how you got into Dutch. Is that how you got into everywhere? Just like like you just talk to these people like,
Yeah.
hey, I've got this beer to sell. Like that's just so like.
Well, and a lot of times we'll be like, hey, like we'll do a full tasting with you.
Oh,
we'll
wow,
bring
okay.
it to you. We'll give you, pour the little glasses, give you the story behind each beer. And then you tell us what you think. If you like it and want to sell it, that's great. If not, hey, thanks for giving us the time.
Yeah. It's like you'd rather somebody sell it that believes in it than just be like, oh, it's kind of trash, but I'll throw it in there. It's like you're not gonna. Somebody's gonna ask you about that product, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I would say everywhere we sell, we have like a really good relationship with.
Awesome.
And I promote all those businesses because they're businesses I go to and support.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are the challenges of being an entrepreneur here?
I would say, what is the challenges? I would say for us at our scale, the challenges, so we don't do a ton of retail sales ourselves. So we're wholesaling a lot of stuff. So you don't make a ton of money on wholesale, and you're not really going to make a lot of money on wholesale unless you're selling like Anheuser-Busch levels of beer or like even Jack Yo's. They distribute all over the place.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a challenge, but there's
Margins.
I mean, it's slim, and we're not paying ourselves for our time, and I mean, it just goes straight back into the business, which is fine for now,
For now,
but our goal is so we don't owe anyone money on this.
That's awesome.
Between me and my dad and my stepmom and my younger brothers invested in it. So, I mean, I guess we're beholden to ourselves and the family, but like outside of that, I'm not in anyone's pocket, which is
good. Yeah.
I want to keep it that way until I absolutely have to. The goal is I'm 35 now. By 40, I want to have either broken ground or have opened a tap room.
That's sick, man.
So I just, I'd rather build it slow and right instead of build it fast.
For sure, yeah. I heard that. Patiently rushing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And, we'll take the growth opportunities where we can, which we're already considering, like maybe we just need to start brewing more. Like every time we brew, double batch it. So we just have a ton of beer that we on hand that we can always sell.
Yeah. What is it like? So you're doing this in your garage, like you get it's like storage is right? Like because if you're making more, you got to store more. You got to store more supplies. Like the double barrel. Like would you be able to fit a second one in where you're at now? Or you're saying you can run two batches, so it doesn't take that long. Like you could do more than one barrel in a day.
It's about a 10 to 12 hour day if we do two batches.
Wow.
A day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get up there, generally start at 7 in the morning. If we're only doing a single batch, we're done by like 3.
Nice.
If we're doing doubles,
That's like starting, canned, like everything?
No, that's just brewing.
Oh, I see.
That's just brewing.
I see.
So a brew day can be anywhere between 6 hours to 12 hours. And most of that's cleaning.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it's cleaning.
So then what? Then it has to sit, or like? So you explain would you just explain the whole beer brewing process?
Yeah, sure. So wow. Okay, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, cool.
So you heat up water to a certain temperature to where you want to mash your grains at. Mashing your grains is simply just steeping it in hot water for an hour or less, depending on, if you hit your numbers on the extraction of the sugars.
So you're just testing that? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we just do an hour. That's kind of like traditionally, like the traditional mash time is an hour for beer, for like a regular mash. And so we'll let that sit in there and recirculate for an hour. That clears up the wort, which wort is unfermented beer. Mm-hmm. So before yeast ever hits it, it's just wort. And so then we transfer that over to the boil kettle, spray more water over the top of it to rinse off the extra sugars that may not have come off, and then to also build up your boil volume. Mm. So we generally have...
Would you say you build up your boil volume? You mean like you're going to lose part of it in the boil? Or what do you mean by that?
Well, you're going to boil... So we boil off about 2 gallons in an hour.
Yeah, okay.
And and you're not going to get that off of what they call the first running. So when your mash is done, that volume of liquid... that's not going to get you to your mash or to your boil volume. So that's why you also rinse water over the top of it to get the extra sugar and then build up your boil volume.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then you boil that for at least an hour. We have some that we do an hour and a half. That's when you're throwing in your hops.
What is the difference in those? Like an hour versus an hour and a half? Like, are you trying to get something different out of the hour and a half?
Yeah.
Or?
So generally with our more malt flavor or forward beers, so like your more grainier tasting beers, like your German lagers, like the Oktoberfest, we do that for an extra half hour because it just kind of concentrates that flavor. There's this thing called the Maillard reaction, if I said that right, and I don't know all the science behind it.
That's okay. Yeah, I wasn't going to keep up with it anyway.
But it basically just kind of reinforces that malt flavor. So it's just like a more full-bodied flavor.
Nice.
So that's why we do like an extra half hour.
Yeah.
And that just concentrates it more. But then, your boil's done. You cool it down as quick as possible to where you want to ferment it at, which can, for us, is anywhere between 55 and 95 degrees.
So logistically, how are you cooling it down from a boil to that?
So we just used tap water. Just run a hose into a plate chiller. It kind of looks like a radiator.
Oh.
So you have cold water going in, hot liquid going in, and then they pass each other, and that hot water or that cold water
absorbs the heat. Yeah,
pulls the heat off of the liquid.
The opposite of heating. Yeah.
So you're just continually shooting cooler liquid back into the boil kettle.
Nice.
But we honestly, we don't cool it down all the way in the kettle. We get it to a point to where it's coming out of the cooler, and when it hits a certain temperature coming out of the cooler, that's when we just start putting it over into the fermenter. So you're not wasting a ton of water and all that. Yeah.
So then it goes into a fermenter, and how long is it there? Like, what's the time between the ferment and like canning? Is that the last thing? It's just the fermentation before canning?
Fermentation. So get it into a fermenter. We drop yeast in it. We put enzymes in there that helps drop the glutens out.
What is the purpose of that?
So really, it's for clearing the beer.
Clearing the beer,
like making the beer more clear.
Okay.
But it also has the side effect of making it a gluten reduced beer. Which we don't put that on anything because I'm not trying to like push that, but like if it helps people who are gluten sensitive, and they can drink that without having any flare ups or anything, that's pretty neat.
That's cool. Yeah. And so then how do you even learn like the canning thing? Like when you're doing the homebrew on a smaller base, are you doing like reusable bottles? Like you're not doing actual like sealed cans?
No.
Yeah.
A lot of YouTube videos. We bought a commercial canning machine, not like a canning line, just an actual can sealer.
Yeah, like they would use it like a bubble tea place or something, but just for an aluminum can, not like a metal or a plastic cup.
Yeah. Or I think even I think Little Fish has one that they do crowlers in, to-go crowlers.
Nice.
So I bought that. I bought a beer gun, which is just a beer liquid in, CO2 in. When you go to fill your can, you purge it with CO2 and then fill it with liquid, and that pushes out any oxygen that could be in the can. Because you don't want post-fermentation, you don't want any oxygen in your beer at all. It'll what's the word? Oxidize it.
Yeah.
Oxygen oxidize.
Because oxygen is like, right, it's killing us too. Just slowly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but in a beer, if you see an oxidized beer, it's going to look like poop in a cup. It's going to look so bad. It's going to taste horrible. So post-fermentation to opening up a can and enjoying it, you don't want any oxygen in that.
Yeah.
So, we hand fill everything. Every can of beer that we make goes through me and my dad's hands at least once or twice.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's cool to know, like, with shit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you could do that on the homebrew scale.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to invest the money in a can seamer and all that. And there are cheaper versions that are more geared towards home brewing.
Yeah.
But
so then even like the execution of like getting a label, like how did you get a label built?
So our labels, have you seen our can labels?
I've seen pictures of them. I've never had like a can.
So it's and I apologize.
It's like very close to that logo, right? Like that's on the front of it.
It's the exact logo and going into it when we were thinking about label design, I was like, man, I want some like sick like local art or something. And my dad's like, why don't we just color code it, have a plain label, every beer will have a different color. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's start with that, and then we can move into putting artwork on it. But at Sidebar, I went there and saw our beer in her beer cooler. It stands out because there's not a lot of crazy art on it.
Yeah.
So it almost like it's like the exact opposite.
There is actually, I'm seeing that shift everywhere. Like every Jaguar, like the car, like their logo is everything is going to this like stripped down, like because we're so stimulated and have all this. I think that I'm seeing that a lot. Yeah. That is cool though.
So that's like and the end goal is to have the tap room and no distribution outside of like selling kegs to people and like maybe filling to-go crowlers for people. But you don't make a lot of money. So we have
even with a tap room, you're saying?
Oh, no, the tap room is where you make your money because you buy the glass once and you can put multiple beers, assuming you don't break all your glasses all the time.
Well, and you're not charging a wholesale price.
Yeah, exactly.
You're charging a retail
price.
price.
Yeah, exactly. And so, to be honest, what we have in a can before we even put any beer in it is about 94 cents.
Damn.
So, my dad always says, like, we operate on the slimmest of margins. But it's if we made a lot more, I could charge a lot more for it. But I want to be fair to the people we sell to, and because they're gonna make their money on it, and that's important to me. So
like also that's how we're like grow the consumer base, right?
And they take the risk, right? They have to they buy the product and they have to hold it whether it sells or not. So it's kind of risk
and reward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Well, like, who's like actually making your labels? So you come up with a design. Like, how are you getting from like like? Are you just getting like labels that you're putting on the cans? Is somebody putting the labels on the cans for you?
We do. We hand roll them.
Damn, man, this is a lot of. How do you have time for all this, bro?
Well, to be honest, my dad does most of that. Because I live out 550. He lives. That's his property. The brewery's on. So he just lives down the hill from it on an adjoining property. So. He tinkers around up there all the time, and I think that's kind of like one of his spots he goes when he just wants to tinker on stuff.
Yeah, man, that's cool.
And so he'll just go up there, throw, he put it, my dad's a tech guy. He had to throw a TV in there on the wall, so he just puts on YouTube and just rolls cans. And so the label, my dad designed it in Adobe.
Nice.
We got the specs that we needed for the 16-ounce and 12-ounce cans. We make sure we got all the stuff you need on there, the government warning, the ingredients.
So then this is what I mean, is the fucking rabbit hole goes so deep. Where'd you learn that? Like the requirements of what needs to be on the can.
Oh, I just looked it up. It's kind of crazy how much, because you have to work with the state quite a bit, right, to get the liquor license. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot they won't tell you.
Was that expensive to get that?
So our license is $1,000 a year, and that is just for us to sell our own beer.
I see.
So the next step up would be if we, and we could also have a tap room on that license as well. But
for the $1,000 a year.
Yeah. But if, say we had a tap room and we also wanted to sell other people's beer and liquor, we'd have to get the next one up.
To sell other people's, like at the tap room, which, most tap rooms do have like
a liquor option or something. Yeah. So if we wanted that,
in fucking Athens, that's almost impossible.
Well, yeah, I don't know how a lot of these places get them, but
it's like the Gem, right? The Gem just like buys it from Soul, right?
Yeah,
it's like Soul had a liquor license. Like, I'm gonna scoop that up and turn it into a bar. I mean, I know of people that have properties that want to put a bar there and just literally are like until it comes open, like you have to buy it from somebody, or like that's just wild.
Yeah, well, I think it's a little different with the manufacturing licenses.
But it's like in a manufacturing facility, you're not direct to consumer. Like that's the difference between a manufacturer and a tap room.
No, I mean like so.
Oh, just you don't have outside stuff. So, that's what you mean.
Okay. Yeah, so like you're not selling other people's products. You're selling your product.
Yeah. But you could start with that and then acquire. Yeah.
And I don't know the exact logistics behind that, but I'm not really trying to do that. I don't know. I mean, liquor maybe, but I don't really want to sell other people's stuff at my place.
Especially not stuff like it would be different if you weren't even really if you were just kind of like, I don't know, like if you were just branding something and you didn't have that, like I could see how you would have less input and then you kind of wouldn't care and you'd be like, fuck it, I'll sell it all. But I mean, yeah, man, it was kind of like a purpose. Like it's yours. There's something like there's an ownership behind that.
It's like, and also, I know anecdotally a lot of people really like our beer. So it's like the people coming, most of them they're already really going to like your beer. So it's like, why would I want to put something else in front of their face? They know what they want. So, and they could go to those other places to get it if they want it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, the label, we use Blue Label packaging up in Lancaster. We have a really good relationship with our rep up there. And
so that's where you get like the actual printed one, right?
Yes.
You give them the design and everything.
Yep, we give them the design. They upload it into their specs and they give it back to us to approve for approval, and we were like, okay, run it.
Nice. And then like the cans, where are you getting these aluminum cans from?
So I actually buy the cans from the same company we got the canner from, October Designs. They're based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, I think.
Cool.
Which, we lose money doing it that way because they ship with UPS and it's like $30 a box.
Yeah. Why are you tied to them? Why is it important that you source from them? Is this just who you have a relationship with?
And it's not even that we have a relationship with them. I don't interface with anyone there. I just order them online.
Oh, okay. So it's just like a system that has worked for you.
Yeah, it works. Ideally, if I could take like a week to like take a truck up there and buy like a truckload, we could save some money. I've talked with other people like, hey, if you're getting a pallet of cans, I'll go in on it with you. So hopefully in the future we can knock that price. Because shipping's my world. I work for a medical diagnostics manufacturer, so I'm like I run their shipping department. So like,
logistics guy.
Sorta ish. I kind of fell into it. I started out as just like the dude that packs boxes, and then just
where's this at geographically?
It's on East State Street.
Oh, where at? Oh, the end of East State Street. Yeah, it's not the Quidel or Pepsi one.
No, it's Quidel.
It is Quidel. Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Okay,
yeah.
All there.
Yeah, so Quidel Ortho now it's what they are.
Cool.
They're doing the corporate thing where they just they're incestuous. They gotta do that corporate stuff.
Yeah.
But so I've worked there for 10 years this fall.
Nice.
They've been great to me, but it's not where I see myself in 20 years or
It's
5 years.
I mean, like, what is that conversation like for you? Like, is this like, because it's different for like, I don't know, like there's this thing that you're acknowledging inside of yourself that maybe this isn't it, but there's also like the good, like it's not like it's a terrible gig. It's not, you're not crushing your soul, but how did you, I mean, you just started homebrewing and then that kind of picked up, like, is like just that, like, you followed the genuine interest in that and like alleviate, what is this, did you acknowledge this for 5 years before you did something about it?
No, I just kind of got to a point, because like 10 years ago, I would have told you like, hey, Zach, what do you want to do for a living? I'd be like, hey, I'll dig ditches for the right price. I don't care. Around the time we were talking about starting this up, I was just like, I can't do this all my life. Like, I just, I don't, it doesn't feed my soul as corny as that sounds. So,
no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm glad that they make stuff that helps people, but I don't have any attachment to it. It's, I like my coworkers and I like the people in the building I work with, but like, I don't,
I do get that. I do.
It's just that, you kind of start to understand the inner workings of like I wouldn't say they're a giant corporation, but they're fairly big in that space. And it's just, it's just something that it kind of makes you feel a little dirty. And
it's like when you're touching like 7-8 figures of it, it's like, it's just,
Yeah. And I mean, all the executive level people, you can look up their salaries and see how much they're making, and it's kind of ridiculous how much, people make over here compared to the ones out in San Diego. It's wild, but yeah, I was just, literally sitting at work and I was like staring at my computer. I was like, I can't do this all my life. I'd rather be a struggling business owner,
So then, like, I mean, is it just like making more money with the brewery that would allow you to kind of step away?
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been thinking about it a lot lately is, I need to start thinking realistically, like, okay, I need to start looking at land around the area where I want to build. Like, I would love to have one of those big brick buildings in Albany, on the main street in Albany there, but I think the cost of updating everything would probably be more than like building a nice pole.
But couldn't you leverage, like work with a NGO to get like some sort of like historic like reverberation grant or something like that? Like, I just feel like
we probably could. I've never even really considered it.
Like, I don't know, it's definitely like districts, but they're like just whatever. Like, say like it's called like an opportunity zone or whatever, and it's just like I mean, I don't know how it works, and you might end up still having to shell out the $200,000 up front, and it's just a reimbursement program. And with all the federal funding freezes, it's like, exactly. Are you in limbo? But I just definitely feel like there's because like, so for example, like there's the Athens County Port Authority, and like effectively all they do is just like stimulate business in the surrounding area, and
Yeah.
like this just kind of like sticks out to me as something that like I don't know, just shooting some
You
shit,
know,
but
there's a lot of things I just haven't really considered.
Yeah.
You know, because I wouldn't say I'm like the strongest business dude in the world. You know, I wouldn't.
Fucking, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't. You know, a lot of the stuff I know is just I pick it up on the fly, and like,
you know, as so many people I've had so many entrepreneurs on, and I think almost every single one of them have echoed exactly that of just like, I fucking figure it out as I'm doing it, man. I make mistakes, and then I know not to do that next time.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, working with the state, they let you know if you mess something up.
Have you before?
Yeah, I've missed like you know, hitting like sales tax filings and stuff like that. Because you know, it's something now. I keep a reminder in the calendar, so it's you know, you get a couple letters and they're like, "Hey, you missed your filing last month or whatever," and you're like, "Oh, okay, gotcha." And you know, we have a great relationship with our liquor control agent.
Nice. Do they have to like come by and stuff, or you just like
you know? So he's only been there twice in 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. When we've been selling for 3 years, we got our license just before. We got it October, oh goodness, 2022 or 2021. I can't remember. Wow, this is terrible. But we didn't like actually sell anything because we were making sure that everything was like tip top before we put it out the door. So we didn't actually start selling until January.
So you just like giving all this beer away? You just drinking it? Like,
no, man. Well, we did sell it.
Okay.
It's just, you know, I was just kind of, you know, like dragging my feet a little bit, being like, okay, let's just make sure, you know, we have customers lined up that are going to buy it, and you know, just put the final touches on everything. And yeah, we hit the ground running that January.
Did like expectation meet reality? Like I just asked that on the other pod, but like, did you has this 4 years deep, 3 years deep? Has this been what you expected that it would be?
You know, it's been a little more stressful than I've anticipated, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it means you're alive.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's been great, man. So we just did our first like face-to-face event with people last August in Marietta at Rivers Trails and Ales.
Nice.
And that was like the first time perfect strangers coming up to us and trying our beer and like just getting that instant feedback, which was fantastic. And we were also down there with a lot of great breweries and wineries.
Awesome.
So that kind of reinvigorated me. I kind of was going, you know, I kind of like ebb and flow, you know, like mood wise. And I'm like, man, I'm just like really down for like a spell. And then something like that happens, and it just like boosts me for 6 months.
Dude, the cosmos bringing you back up, man. You're on the right path, buddy. Keep going.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just like, it validates like, oh, I'm not, you know, it's not just like my friends being like, yeah, your beer's good, you know, like it's perfect strangers, never had it before, come up and they keep coming back for more. Yeah. Like that's like kind of the best compliment. They don't even have to say anything to me. If I just keep seeing the same person every 10 minutes, that's cool.
Yeah. The actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. So you said that was the first event you ever did in person. Like, what is holding you back from doing more? Logistics time? Like, you got a job, you got to brew this fucking beer.
Me and Dad work full time. We're doing RTA again.
What's RTA?
Rivers Trails and Ales, Marietta event. We're doing that again this year.
When is that in August?
That is, the Beer Fest day is August 9th, the Saturday, but it runs the Thursday before to the following Sunday of like various events going on. Cool. But the beer day is Saturday.
Cool. August 9th, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fun time. Let's hope for some good weather. And
geographically, is it like in the downtown part of Marietta?
It's in the park, right off the river.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the last year, the weather could not have been any better. Nice. The breeze, good bit of shade where we were, so it was good. I'm hoping. Either way, I don't care, dude. I'll stand out in the sun and bake all day. I really don't care.
So then what's that like? Like, you're just bringing a bunch of cold beer, and then like you were like at that event. Yeah, was it like a Brewing style thing? It's like you're serving beer to people, or?
So we weren't. So they have volunteers that serve your beer for you.
Oh, just like Brewing, yeah.
So we set up. We literally all we have to do is set up and tear down, and then they give us a cup, and they're like, "Why don't you guys go try out some other beers?" And I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
That is pretty wicked.
Yeah, no, but, you know, and I honestly didn't drink as much as I thought I was going to down there because there was a lot of good beer. Devil's Kettle had his watermelon lager down there.
Nice.
Oh, my gosh, that stuff is so good. But I just like was talking with people. And they're like, "How come we've never heard of you?" I'm like, "We're small, man.
Yeah.
We're small. We have a very small footprint."
Yeah. I mean, everyone is at the start,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And like it's kind of funny to think about. So like literally, my entire goal with this is just to have a tap room and sell my own beer, and be able to make a living on that.
Yeah.
Like I talked to a lot of my buddies. And I was in the Air Force in my earlier 20s, so I have a lot of buddies around the country, and I just kind of update them on what's going on. And they're like, "Man, you're going to be the next Anheuser-Busch." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I don't want to worry about all that, Like, I want people to have to come to me to get the beer."
Yeah, but you're on the path, dude. Like, this is the path,
I think so. There's some things that, we're looking to do a couple more, like, retail-oriented things. Like, we want to have growler fills, for example, say like Wednesday through Friday or Wednesday through Saturday for this time period. Stop on up, bring your own growler. We'll fill it. It's whatever price.
Just like right where you're brewing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that's smart, man.
Yeah. And
because that's like zero infrastructure to get direct to consumer that you're asking for, which is the margins. And you just like juice those margins a little bit. And
yeah.
Now you're Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah. Wow. No,
that's cool though.
But,
that sounds exciting.
And we don't have any growlers of our own right now, so it would be like, hey, bring your growler. So that's no cost in us for the packaging. All we have to do is pour the beer, and
dispense.
Then they save a little bit of money because they don't have to buy a growler.
I mean, are you serving out of a keg or like
out of a keg? Yeah.
Nice. And where did you get kegs?
I just buy them from like wholesalers online.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then, are you selling like anybody kegs like Dutch Creek Winery or anybody like anybody?
So
at those?
With Dutch Creek, we just use his 5-gallon kegs that he has.
Oh.
We make a honey. So we have a porter that we make, and then the version that we sell to him, we put a little bit of his honey in it.
Oh.
So he has the Midnight Honey Porter, and then we just have what we call a straight up porter.
Yeah, which actually is I want that. How many beers do you have?
Somewhere between 10 and 15.
Wow.
I would say 5 or 6 of them are on constant rotation. And then, I have like spring seasonals, fall seasonals, summer seasonals. We did a strawberry blonde ale this spring, and it sold so quick. I think I'm going to have to make one more batch before the end of summer. And
cool.
It was delicious too. I loved it. So
that's awesome.
I don't want to get too crazy on like having like 30 different beers that we make.
Yeah.
Because then you have to make more labels, get more cans. But
yeah, it's also too like sometimes when you go to a restaurant, it's like too much shit on the menu. You're like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Like I'm burnt out.
Yeah,
fuck.
Like I walk into some beer halls and I'm like, I know all this beer is probably really great, but I just like am so overstimulated on like if I see 40 beers on the wall, dude, my brain is going nuts. And I'm just like, IPA, just give me that. Yeah, I know I'm going to like that.
The way that I order beer, like a tap room or something, I go, give me your Miller Lite.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just what I order everywhere.
Yeah. And, I like Miller Lite. I love light beers personally. I know like some craft beer people are like, ugh, light lager, whatever, dude.
Yeah, whatever, man.
But, it has its purpose, right? When you don't want to drink a 10% triple IPA and you just got done mowing, you just want something that's a little, a little refreshing with a little bit of alcohol in it. Like, I'm not going to dog that.
Yeah.
I've put away plenty of those myself in my time. So, yeah. But yeah, I can't remember where I was going with that, but
I think I just asked like how many beers you had.
Oh yeah.
It was, so then like I don't know, like fuck. Yeah.
Well, I will say that we make a little bit of everything. The only thing we don't really touch are like true sour beers.
Why is that?
Because you have to put bacteria in them to sour them. And if you don't sterilize really properly, that can get into your other beers.
I see. And because you're brewing, like versus somebody that might just have a sour station, like all I'm going to do is brew sours in this
like
barrel. Yeah.
This side of the building that's sealed off from everything else. This is nothing.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, you're not like, you don't want to use the same equipment that you use for the sour beers on other beers. Like it's a little bit more something you have to like pay a lot more attention to.
Yeah.
And, and I've never made one to begin with. Like we use a yeast. We make a tart ale, and we use a yeast that produces lactic acid alongside alcohol during fermentation. So it just gives it like enough of a sour punch to it that you know it's there, but it's not going to like feel like you're stripping the enamel off your teeth. You know? I'll leave that to the professionals. The people that do it, Little Fish, they're great at that.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know.
I had a sour the last time I was at Little Fish. I like sour. I think I just don't like hops. Like that's like the super IPA shit.
Yeah.
I'm not. Sometimes I don't know. Like I moved to Cleveland right after I graduated for a few years, and then I missed Athens so much. I started drinking like Jackie O's IPAs just to feel like I was home. But then that was just like the same thing as like when you're 17 drinking your first beer and you're like, this sucks, but it's great.
Yeah.
Like I was just drinking IPAs like this sucks, but it's great.
But it equals fun. So let's go. Yeah, this is so crazy. So I didn't even touch craft beer until I was like 22 or 23.
Yeah.
I was like all Natty Light.
For sure, I think that's like kind of, yeah, I mean, your palate expands. You're allowed to be in the places now. Like, I think a lot of people could relate to like drinking Natty Ice and fucking hams.
Yeah.
Until
dude,
like
love
22.
hams. I love hams to this day.
Yeah.
Natty Light, I don't really drink that much anymore,
Yeah.
but hams and Old Milwaukee, those are like my two go-tos.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like a lot of those like cheaper light beers, like the Busch Lights, the PBR, like those are like, those never lost. Like there was never a time that I've ever known that people weren't like, yeah, give me that, don't give me that Busch Light, don't give me that PBR. It's like, you know.
Yeah, those things are always going to sell. I mean, they've been around forever. They're not going
There's
anywhere.
a reason, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want them to. I mean, because that also helps boost the craft community as well. But yeah, so the first like beer I ever had that is sort of crafty, I was stationed in Northeast Japan, and me and my buddy were taking a train about an hour north of
Okinawa? Where?
No. So this is
Okinawa's Marines?
Okinawa is an island off of Japan.
Oh,
it's like their Hawaii.
I didn't realize.
So it's like south. If you're looking at the main island, it's like southeast.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere over there.
Off of the coast. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm like way up top. Way up top. So we were probably about hour and a half south of like the north tip on the main island.
Cool.
So like pretty similar weather.
Japan drinking your first craft beer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Is it the same? Like what is their style of craft beer?
You know, I actually didn't have any craft beer over there. I just bought on base, you know. So on base, I never even looked at the craft beer section. I was probably the only person on base drinking Natty Light, though, you know. But we bought a 6-pack of Blue Moon Pumpkin Ale, and we were drinking it on the train up to the city where we were going to go party. And I was like, whoa, this is good, dude.
It's flavor.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I was like, this actually tastes like something. It's wild. But then, you know, fast forward however many years, when I was like 22, 23, I had an IPA for the first time. Not to be a, you know, cliche craft beer drinker, but I love IPAs, and they're not like what we totally focus on. We have a couple of them, but I love them. The first time I had it, I was like, this isn't such an insane flavor. I never thought beer could taste like this.
Yeah. It's like people either are like they're all on the IPA train or they're like, it's okay, man. You could have that.
Yeah. I always tell people that. I'm like, you're either going to really like it or you're really going to hate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of, and I can't remember which beer that was, but it might have been a New Belgium Ranger or something like that. But I was like, yo,
transcended your belief in beer.
Yeah, it did. It did. It really did. So yeah, from there, I just started drinking a lot more craft beer, different styles that I've never heard of or had before. And that evolved into home brewing. And then now, like, I guess pro brewing. I don't know what you call that. But that's kind of where we're at.
That's what's up, man. Well, like, do you have time to yourself outside of work and brewing?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would say Saturdays are generally, that's like slotted off for brew activity, whether that's brewing, canning, kegging.
Something needs to get done on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. Sometimes on Friday, we might can on a Friday night. We like to have like cookouts up there, and like we hang out up there. You know, that's kind of our hangout spot on the weekend. So, but then during the week, I come out to check how fermentation's going on different beers, getting stuff ready to can, whether it's carbonating it, cold crashing it, which drops all the yeast and solids down, and then you can dump that off at the bottom. So you have like a more cleaner liquid coming out. So some prep work during the week. My dad will go up and maybe label some beers. If we have to absolutely brew or can in the middle of the week, we will. It's not ideal. We brewed once on like a Tuesday night, and I got out of there at like midnight, and I was just like,
fuck.
8 a.m. comes pretty quick when you have to drive across the county back home and, all that crap. But, Saturday's the big day. But yeah, no, we have a life. I went to a concert a couple weeks ago up in Columbus. I'm a homebody anyways, though.
Yeah, me too, man.
So
yeah, I heard that.
I do. I've been to like 2 or 3 concerts this year, and I feel like that's kind of like maxed me out.
Yeah,
that kind of got me a lot of that crazy stranger social interaction that I probably didn't really need or want. But a couple of the bands I saw were like bands I just like. If I wasn't going to see them then, I probably wasn't going to see them. So
glad you did it.
Yeah, no, it was great, and it was fun.
Awesome.
We had a hell of a good time, and we go on vacation a couple times a year. We'll go down to we have like a little cottage in Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and hang out for 3 or 4 days. And
nice.
Yeah, no, we do. But I mean, it's I think all small business owners would kind of say that like you're kind of always grinding one way or the other. Whether you're actually physically working or planning or networking with other people, you're always kind of grinding a little bit. And some days I do come home and I'm like, I'm just going to shut it off, play some video games, hang out with the dog, but then other days like, and to my dad's credit, he keeps me on top of things. He's like, hey, did you reach out to so-and-so? Did you do this? Did you do that? So he helps me out quite a ton, like a bit. I, without him, it would probably look a little different than what it is now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can do all that stuff by myself, but if a pump goes down, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna be like, well, that brew day's done. My dad's like, well, actually, let's take it apart, see what's going on in there, and and I have a couple of people I've worked with and friends that like, they fill in the gaps on a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So I can call up and be like, hey, man, can you come check this out? I think something's going on with the electrical work in here.
Access to that network. I mean, is that why you stuck around Athens? Like, so you grew up here, but then you left in the military. You get exposed to what it sounds like you're in Japan and shit. Yeah. It's like you've seen other parts of the world. Like, did you just kind of come back on autopilot? Did you like intentionally make a decision never to leave? Did you think about leaving? Like, why are you still here in Athens?
And this is so crazy, man. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Japan. I've been to Kyrgyzstan, and I've been to Guam. And started in Texas, ended in Texas, and I was just, for me, and I'm just nowhere has felt like this area of Ohio. Not even just Athens specifically, but of course Athens, because that's, I grew up in Albany, but, I spent a lot of time in Athens as a kid growing up. So I always felt like a little alien outside of the county, Even if I go up to Columbus, I feel like I don't want to be outside the county too long,
Dude, I get what you mean, man. I do, yeah.
You just start to get that itch. You're like, okay, I got my fill. Let's go back.
Yeah, dude. When you talk about like vacations, I don't need a vacation, dude. I fucking love.
Honestly, before I met my partner, she, I like. My vacation was staycation.
That's what I mean, bro. Fuck you. I'm gonna like let me wake up, smoke a joint, and drink some coffee. I'm gonna stare at the backyard. Yeah. Let me like tinker on some, bro.
Let me wait till an appropriate time to start drinking beer, and I'm gonna do that. But I would just brew beer, drink beer, and hang out with my dog, take him on walks. But I met her, and to her credit, she kind of gets me out of my comfort zones, and she's like, "You guys have this cabin down in Tennessee. We're going." Yeah. Like. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, they're just, anywhere I go too far away, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like just a piece of me is not there. So,
it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and everywhere I've been has been great. There's like great qualities. I loved, thankfully my traveling, gave me a ton of perspective on how people live outside of, Western world. Yeah. I grew up, kind of came from like a pretty like religious background, you can imagine around here. Mm-hmm. And, I had certain beliefs kind of going into the Air Force, and then even just meeting people from around the country, people from
The
California.
people that you're with. Yeah.
California, the true Midwest out in like Oklahoma and all that.
The true Midwest. I like that.
Ohio's the Midwest, but like the true, the corn Midwest,
The flat Midwest.
Yeah, exactly. Like just meeting people from like so many backgrounds that you would never meet here.
Yeah.
At least without having to go out of your way. You're not going to meet them here. Yeah. So, I was kind of looking at how people live their lives a lot differently than kind of what I came up believing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gave me a lot more perspective on like just being more empathetic towards people and like not having those like snap like automatic judgments when you meet someone.
Yeah.
So I'm like grateful for that, but I'm also very happy to be back home.
Heard that, man.
Yeah.
Heard that.
Yeah.
That's wicked. So one more time, where can people find Rice Brewing at?
Okay, guys, you can find us out at Doug's Doug's Carry Out, and then downstairs at Doug's Vault, Carry Out / bar. You can find us at Pizza Stop Carry Out in Albany, Lake Hope Lodge out Zaleski MacArthur area, Sidebar Uptown Athens, Dutch Creek Winery.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Dude, Zach, this was so beautiful. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming to talk about your story and talk about your business. I think it's awesome that you have business like with family, like every day, or just kind of the way you laid out like that week you might just touch. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm really excited to like continue watching. I'm gonna run to Pizza Stop on my way home, pick up some Rice Family Brewing.
Hell yeah, we got it there, man.
Hell yeah, that'd be awesome. But recurring invite, like even too, like maybe it'd be cool to bring your dad in too to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'd give you a similar story, but a lot more educated.
That'd be awesome. I appreciate your time, Zach.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
awesome.
Tyler.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, man.